Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I know you haven't seen me on the YouTube streets in a while, and there's good reason for it. Fortunately, it's all over. I went broke. I put it all on red, and I won, actually. But then I put it all back into illegal substances and ladies of the night. It's all gone. Hello, everyone. Hi. Probably a fun intro for anybody who's brand new to the channel. No, I'm here. I'm still here, still alive, still trucking along. What's up, guys? You're brand new to the channel. Hello, nice to meet you. If you're returning, good to see you again. Happy to see you again after a couple of months of no posting. What is the reason why I haven't been around? Well, there's a few different reasons. I'll definitely explain them as succinctly and at the same time quickly as I can. On top of that, I have a pretty big announcement, but we'll save that for the end of the video. And if you want to skip to that announcement, I'll make sure to timestamp in the description down below. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Once again, if you're brand new to the channel, Thrive or Retire Challenge. $30,000 profit before the end of this year. I started January 1st. If I don't make that marker, that minimum, I will retire from poker. I've been doing poker full time for about 8 years now. And I will move on to a different career choice. I don't know what it will be. I don't care. I want to focus on beating this challenge. As a matter of fact, I want to hit 2 or 3 times the $30,000 minimum. So that's the game plan. I'm not broke. Bankroll is still intact. Your boy's still in good spirits and still healthy. I just took a little bit of time off from posting videos on YouTube. In February, I just didn't have the energy or time to do it. I was putting in some pretty heavy volume. And then in March, my computer started to die on me, so I needed to invest in a new computer. And some stuff happened in April. The TLDR of this challenge is we are doing very well. And I will give you guys a very quick breakdown of how things have been going over the last February, March, April, 12 weeks. First things first, Shark Scope. We'll take a quick look at that. This is effectively my entire year. I decided to just leave January in here just so you guys can get a full scope of how we've done in the first third of 2025. And as you can see, it's really good. This is all my sites combined. I will mention the fact that majority of my profit has come from one site, Global Poker Online. Definitely one of the softest sites in online poker right now. There's a little bit of profit from some other sites that I'll show. They're untracked sites. And Party Poker. I've been doing well on Party Poker. On a bit of a swing lately over the last like 4 to 6 weeks. But still definitely my bread and butter. On top of Global Poker Online. Feeling really good about that. As far as the losing sites, it's pretty easy to explain, to be quite honest with you. WPN, I'm just not really playing much. We're on what looks like a 35 buy-in downswing. Very, very standard, especially for this volume, 260 games. GG, I'm playing mostly big fields, and we're down 65 buy-ins. Once again, my average field size is, let's take a look, 653. So no issue there, really. Not going to beat myself up about it. That's a pretty big field, average field size, and to be down 65 buy-ins, pretty standard. Pokerstars, if you guys are returning and you've seen me talk about these breakdowns before, you also know that this is very, very standard. I think my average buy-in, or so my average field size is double that of GG. Oh, 1.5x. Still, 1,000 players, that's huge fields. And I've only played 200 games over a span of 16 weeks. That's not a lot at all. Pretty standard to be down 110 buy-ins. That's no sweat off my back. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm not even going to worry about making like super drastic changes. I'm just going to keep studying and doing what I'm doing. 888. I think I stopped playing on 888 quite a while ago. March, so I didn't play at all in April. I just don't particularly like the game's structure or prize pools. So I just haven't put a lot of time and effort into that. And this is a little bit more surprising to be down $1,000 over 140 games, but this is all kind of like pretty standard as far as volume goes. Chico, we're totally break even over 200 games. Okay, whatever. Kind of high variance when you play sites that have unlimited reentries. Party Poker has small fields, capped reentries, and short lay registration. Global Poker Online has no re-entries, small fields, and really short late registration. I think there's something to be said about that. Pokerstars, GG, and ACR all have, well, Pokerstars has a little bit less late registration, but they all have either unlimited re-entries or high re-entry limits. Pokerstars, once again, I'm playing like it's the Sunday Million and the Sunday Storm, things like this that are just like super, super swingy. So, I mean, I could bank one this year, be in the profit, and barely win outside of that, and my graph will look good for Pokerstars this year. You know, it's kind of one of those types of grinds for me. Weekdays, I maybe play 2-3 Pokerstars games. Then Sundays, I play 5 to 10. So it's just not a lot to be able to interpret if I'm crushing or if I'm terrible. Or sorry, I should say if I'm crushing and running bad, or if I'm terrible and getting punished. Like, that's something to think about. And I'm not looking at these winning sites like, oh, this makes sense. But there are trends, there are correlations between the two of them. And it's the most volume I've put into the two of them. I think on global, I'm ranked in the top 20 for profit. I am this year. And majority of the people in the top 20 play significantly higher stakes than me. That feels pretty good. I'm definitely doing something right if I'm thinking about it that way. My biggest win was like 2K out of this 21K that I'm in profit. And the rest of them have just been a lot of like $200, $300, $500, $800 scores. So really consistent, 81% ROI. If I can finish the year at a 50% ROI at this average buy-in, I'm going to be super, super excited. And we should be able to stay in that like top 50 profit zone for this site. And that would be really, really cool. So as you can see through this shark scope, things are going, generally speaking, very, very well. I am not broke. I have not disappeared. I've still been streaming for what it's worth. Twitch.tv/DramaticDegen. Link down below. One more thing that I'll look at, on top of that, are the untracked sites here. So I got Iggy, WPT, and CoinPoker. I've put them all together, and I'm up about 4K on them with a 17% ROI. My biggest winner of the three of them is WPT. April, I made just a small amount because, once again, I didn't play much. I'll explain that in a minute. In March, I made 1,500. In February, 400. That was when I just started to kind of ramp up volume, so I was still figuring out the fields. Oh, actually, sorry, January is when we started. $900. It's a bit swingier on Iggy. They've got very similar games to the ACR games, where very long late registration, unlimited re-entries, and I killed it on their site in January, did okay in February, and then the last 2 months couldn't get anything going. So I'm playing less there because, as soft as it is, and it is very, very, very soft, the average game time is just a little bit agonizing for me. So I just use them as space fillers at this point. CoinPoker, pretty good site. Small fields as well. The con with CoinPoker, much like, GG and ACR, is the unlimited re-entries. It can just like really create some swings. So, back in February is when I started. I had a great starting month. Okay, March, break even in April, and I'm already like 3 sessions in, and we're like not doing well there. We'll see how that goes. I still got to feel it out. It's a feeling out process. As far as talking about month to month, how things were going, I'll just give you the quickest rundown here. I won't bore you too much. February was my best month of the year. I grossed about 9.4K. I give 18% to my Coaching for Profit group, headed by Brian Fight and several other coaches. Basically what happens is they give me effectively unlimited coaching, and I give them 18% of my profit every month. Some of you guys, I've seen in the comments, say that's a terrible idea and it's a waste of investment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's up to you if you don't like it. For me, it's great. I more or less, at minimum, get about 30 hours of coaching every month. So I get 5 minimum 1-hour group coaching sessions, and then 1 minimum 1-hour coaching session a week. But I can book more. I can book several more if I want to. And then I can also join in on other people's one-on-ones if they give me the permission, which I do semi-frequently. So you can see how those hours add up. When you think about the fact that most coaches, Brian definitely being one of them, charges about $125, $150 an hour, and that's kind of on the low end for coaching. You can see that I'm effectively getting regular coaching at a discount here. And on top of the fact that if I didn't have the coaching, I might not have made 9.4K in February. I might have made 4K for all I know. So even after paying him 1.7K, I still end up making more than if I didn't have the coaching situation. And that's why it's really easy for me not to be greedy and want to bow out just because I had to give them 1.7K. A lot of people still don't see that despite my explanation. Hey, Godspeed. Do what you must, but this is my journey and I'm enjoying it, and I know I'm making the right choice for me. Give a little bit of 10% to Alex. It helps reduce variance a little bit when things are swingy, and he's my best buddy. He's kind of mentored me along the way in the poker journey for many years. We've helped each other out a lot, and it's just kind of like a loyalty thing. I get 10% of him, he gets 10% of me. Sometimes he makes me money, sometimes I make him money. Is what it is. Nothing wrong with that. So at the end of it, I netted just shy of 7K in February. In March, we put in a tad less volume and made a tad less money. Well, that is a strong word. Third less money. Still, we made good cash, especially when you convert it to Canadian. I'm still making good money. And same spiel, netted about 4.4K. This was a bit of a tough month because my computer died. Well, it didn't die. It shut down a couple of times in the middle of streams, so I couldn't stream, and I stopped streaming all of March. I decided I needed to buy a new PC. I procrastinated because I knew I needed to buy an expensive PC, and I had been budgeting and saving money for several months, trying to be really disciplined, and it hurt that I was basically going to spend a month's worth of expenses on a brand new PC, effectively doubling my expenses for the month. And so I put it off quite a bit, and that's why you didn't see me stream at all in March. Procrastination and anxiety on spending. I did end up building a new PC towards the end of the month here. Yeah, really good month. Not many losing sessions, as you can see here. And once again, like not many huge winning session. In March, my biggest winning session was 1.4K. In February, it was 2.8K, and that was just like a big series game I went deep in. January, 2.6K, same thing. There's like some kind of series game I went deep in. Outside of that, just a lot of like consistent winning. Not huge wins, but consistent wins. In April, I got into a big funk. About once or twice a year, I get into these funks. Sometimes it's brought on by nothing. Sometimes it's spurred on by something small. And then I just kind of spiral a little bit for a couple of weeks. And that's what happened in April. I got very anxious with this whole computer situation. And it was the first time I'd ever built a PC, and I was really worried I was going to like break it. It was going to light on fire when I turned it on or something. And I didn't want to go through that because I was spending so much money on it. It's the most expensive computer I've ever built. And then on top of that, there's some political stuff going on here in Canada. If you guys aren't aware, a big election was happening. There's the US-America relations, and I was like going too deep into the rabbit hole with all that stuff. And it was, as a patriotic Canadian, I was getting all riled up and angry about it. And add those two together, I had some other personal stuff going on slightly. I was getting some of the worst sleep I've had in years. I don't know why, but I just could not get more than 5 hours of sleep in a night. Throw them all together, and I was just in a real funky, depressive state, and found myself really not motivated to play. This is the least amount of poker that I've played in probably 5 years, maybe even longer. I think I played about 400 games, maybe 500 games max. You can see here too, like this is a Sunday, so that was my most expensive day of the week. But $279 and I stopped, $600 and I stopped, $500 and I stopped. Usually I spend about $1,000. Usually there's a few of them towards the end of April where I started to get myself out of that funk. But, I took like almost a whole week off here. I played like a quarter session here with $300 in buy-ins. Just really wasn't into it. So I only made $600 and netted $400, $500. Just basically a break-even April. So that's a wash. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I've been seeing therapists for a couple years now, so I added a couple of therapy sessions just to really get my head right. This is one of the positives of being a professional poker player. I can kind of take these mental health days, or if I have to, mental health weeks, without having to worry about getting fired. I'm really grateful that I have been budgeting and saving money over the last 6 months-ish to a year, because it affords me the ability to not stress out when I am finding myself in this weird mental funk that I'm trying to get out of, and still be able to make sure that like all the bills are paid and all that kind of stuff, which was good. And I honestly, what got me out of the funk in this like last week of April, where I was making a little bit of money, I was able to put in a little more volume. I started touching grass. Not ass, grass. I started golfing. I started golfing with some buddies, getting some sunlight, going to the driving range, hanging out a little bit, out in some backyards, reading my book. And that helped quite a bit. So all in all, we're doing okay. Even though I was in a funk, I still made some money. It's I consider this break even. Plus or minus $1,000 is break even to me. But you know, it could have been a lot worse, right? I could have forced myself to play, and maybe I would have finished down a couple G's. I don't know. But I definitely wasn't in the headspace to play good poker. And you can see, like, you know, most of the previous months, I would have 4 or 5 losing sessions. Looks like majority of my sessions here were losing. What, 6 or 7 losing sessions here? So I think I did the right thing, even though I was upset with myself that I didn't play more and try to make money. I just wasn't in the headspace. But then touched grass, saw a therapist, run my book, and we're back in action. So we're a few days into May. We're break even on the month. Don't worry about that. You guys can follow this journey. Push.tv/DramaticDegen. Once again, links in the description. Now our net profit for the year, $17,924, as you can see here. And I'll keep this updated almost every day on stream for when you guys want to come check in on your boy and see how things are going. So we're effectively 60% of the way towards beating the challenge, and we're only 4 months into the year. That's really great progress. If things continue to go the way they're going, I'm continuing to study, you know, consistently, play this average buy-in consistently, game select consistently, hopefully not get into another weird emotional mental funk again, I should be able to beat this goal by the end of July. Hopefully sooner, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm going to be more process-oriented than results-oriented. That's been my whole theme this entire year, hence why I'm not beating myself up too much about April. And I think good things are coming. Good things are coming. On top of touching grass and getting golfing and, you know, seeing some sunlight and all that good stuff, something major has changed. That's changing the trajectory of this stream and of this journey. And I'm excited to announce it to you guys right now, today. So as a lot of you guys know, and I posted a video about it on the YouTube channel, back in January, I was an ACR stormer, and I had been an ACR stormer for roughly 3 or 4 years. And ACR was going through some controversies over the previous 12 months. They've kind of been a controversial company for several years now, but they were gaining goodwill in the space, at least while I was a stormer. From the beginning of 2024 onward, they went through several different controversies that I don't think that they handled very well. And in January, another controversy happened that I don't feel like repeating or going over again, but I wasn't happy with how ACR responded publicly to the controversy. At that point, I decided to leave. And leaving felt like a big deal to me personally. It wasn't make or break, but it was a decent chunk of my yearly income that I was sacrificing because I didn't like how things were going on. I quit knowing that there were no certain prospects in my future, and I was just going to stream without making an income for a year if I had to. In a perfect world, I would get a sponsorship by summer if I built a following, built a YouTube channel up, etc., etc. But I was totally expecting to stream while making no money for a year. That being said, my boy Patrick, aka Egyptian, let me know that WPT Global was looking for somebody from Canada to represent their site. I got in touch and they said, "We like you. We want you to represent WPT Global." So as of May 1st, this year, I am part of WPT Global. I have signed a year contract, 3-month probationary period. So if they decide they don't like me, they might let me go at the end of 3 months. Fair enough. But I'm going to do everything that I can to do right by them, represent them well, and hang on for at least a year and see how things go. Fan of the site, as you saw in my graph, I've been making money on the site. I haven't put in a ton of volume there. I think I've played 500 games total since the beginning of the year. So we're going to be up in some volume there. They gave me a deal that I'm very happy about, and they've given me quite a lot of freedom from a streaming standpoint. I'm not just going to stream WPT. I'm going to stream any game that works for my formula, that works for my journey. And I'm really excited about that. Obviously, they want me to put most of my focus into WPT, and obviously that's totally fair. They understand what my journey is all about. They understand the story that I'm trying to tell. They understand what my goals are. And they're like, yeah, go for it. Play whichever you like. Good luck, Godspeed. And that made me really, really excited. On top of the fact that it seems like this year they're really making some really big efforts into improving their software, improving their user interface, making everything a lot more flashier and a lot easier to use for everybody from recreationals to professionals. And I'm really, really excited about that. So Very exciting. Things are working out really well. The funk is gone, and I see a really, really good year for me, for the community ahead of us. But don't forget, you want 100% first time deposit bonus. Use promo code DGEN, DEGEN, all caps. Can't use links, but you know where to go. WPT Global, if it's available in your area, it also makes me look good as well. You win because you get the deposit bonus, 50% back at the poker tables, 50% at the casino, tournament tickets, global spin tickets, casino coin, all that good stuff. Very exciting. So that's it. Appreciate you. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long, but I'm here. I'm back, hoping to get you at least a video per week. Going to be posting a bunch of clips on social media pretty regularly as well, so make sure you follow me there. Links down below. I'm sure there's going to be some ticket giveaways in the future, all kinds of good stuff. Definitely worth a follow. And once again, don't forget to come check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/DramaticDegen. Links down below in the bio. Come by, say hello, tell me you're glad to see me again after all this time, and share some of your victories on WPT Global. Boom. Love it. Glad to be here, guys. Appreciate you. If I don't see you guys on the Twitch streets, see you in the next YouTube video. Good luck at the tables.